The geopolitical uncertainties have led to everyone questioning the pace of global growth and the Indian capex cycle. Now, the best place to check whether the global capex cycle and the Indian cycle are in order, are going as expected, is L&T, India's foremost construction company, the company that has built India brick by brick, wire by wire. I have with me the chairman and managing director of L&T, Mr. S.N. Subrahmanyan. SNS, thank you very much for joining us.
Lalita, good afternoon, and a pleasure to be on the TV with you.
After a very, very, very long time. Okay, SNS first, the macro question. Because of these global uncertainties, you all have over 50% order inflow from global providers. Any disturbance at all? Do you think the cycle may slow, execution may slow?
As I see it, Lata, our order book today, the backlog of orders to be executed, is more than 6,25,30,000 odd crores, which means from an EPC point of view, we are more than 2.5 years of work as we look forward. And these are fairly fast-track orders in the sense many of them have to be done in 2.5 years, 3 years. So as an organization today, we seem to be on a firm footing. But at the same time, due to the geopolitical and logistical issues that arise, many of the projects that we do have components or subsystems coming from many parts of the world. There are two broad matters going on in the world. One is there are certain organizations which make some of these critical components which are extremely busy. For example, gas-insulated substations, compressors, transformers. These companies seem to be extremely busy. They're overflowing with orders. There are others who have not so many orders, but at the same time have logistical issues because of not only the Red Sea, Suez Canal matter, but also the fact that many of the components that they do come from many other countries, and these are not reaching them in time, and therefore the product gets delayed. So we need to be cautious about this factor. The tariff and the wars do worry us. We do keep it in mind. We have various advisors telling us how to go about this thing. But at the same time, I think from our part of the world where we are, India and Middle East, which is predominantly where India operates, we seem to be in a positive situation from where we look at ourselves right now.
Okay. Your guidance, you gave us a guidance of 10% growth in the order book and 15% growth in top line. That looks like a very modest guidance because you all did so well in the first quarter numbers. I think it was a 25% growth in the order book and a 33% growth in revenue. So would you want to push up the guidance?
No, that's good to be modest. It's always
overachieve.
It's always good to undercommit and achieve slightly more. So let us look at it from that perspective.
Now, will the order book, 10% rise in the order book be more than achieved? Or do you think the second and third quarters you have a big base also? Is there any doubt at all?
We are also growing, so it's like a bucket of water, right? And you're taking a bath. The more you pour on yourself, the more the bucket needs to get filled as the water gets over. So look at it from that point of view. So if we have to continue to grow, we need to continue to get the order inflow and continue to keep a healthy backlog. But what it does today from an overall point of view is, since you have a good backlog, any order that comes, any client that we come across, any geography that we look at, we tend to analyze it a lot more. The risk perceptions within the company is better. We tend to negotiate for better terms and conditions. We tend to get better orders. There's no what you call as a panic situation in the company to desperately go achieve something. So it's a healthy situation to be in. So that's the way one looks at it.
What about Indian private capex? We see you're saying that the international orders are still there. They're coming good. Indian side orders.
So during 3-4 years back, when COVID was at its peak and there was a shutdown, the government of India really came to the help. There were huge projects which were declared, the Jal Jeevan mission, the Atal mission, the high-speed corridors, the dedicated freight corridors. Some of the state governments, especially Maharashtra government with Atal Setu and coastal roads, I think we were lucky to win many of these orders, and that helped us sail through. There was not much of private capital allocation at that time, so hardly any private
But now
orders.
it has picked up.
Today, if you see our book, which is predominantly consists of capital projects, so you have central government projects, no doubt. You have multilateral funded projects, and you have a fairly healthy private order inflow within order book and order inflow within the overall gamut of what we are going about. So, and these orders primarily are from cement companies, are from steel companies, are from electronics and fab companies.
Power.
These are absolutely from EPC, coal-fired power, and these kind of orders. Good orders, healthy orders, and fast moving orders. So it's good.
No, the time was when Indian private capex cycle was very strong. You know, if you remember the first decade of this century, even in the first half of, say, 2010 to 2015, the capex cycle was good. Then because of the bad loans, the NPAs, it slowed. Has it, come back after that?
I feel it is positive right now. You see fair amount of orders that could be got from the private sector. And we do book quite a few of this. And I see the trend continuing as we look forward.
Okay. Well, you stunned us with that big Adani order. And there was one NTPC order as well.
Yeah,
both
just before that, yes.
Okay, so you're getting into thermal in a big way now?
We were always there in coal-fired.
You had said you will abandon it, that's why.
Yes, we were always there in coal-fired. And then there was a time in between when India took on the renewables side. We were looking at adding capacity on the solar, wind, and hydel side. Hydel plants take a long time. Nuclear plants also take a very long time because of safety and various other matters involved during construction stage. And therefore, coal-fired boilers took a back seat, and there are not too many plants coming up. And the few that were coming up were being taken away by the big the brother of the power situation, which is BHEL. And we could not compete with them at that point of time. There were a few other private companies in the power sector which closed down. GE moved away from it, Toshiba moved away, Doosan moved away. And we were the only other company that was left in this space. We were fulfilling some of the backlog that we had. And when it got over, when we found that we could not book any further orders, we took a decision and we reviewed it and said whether we should continue in this space. Frankly speaking, I took a decision to move away from this space. And then I was convinced to stay in this space. And I would say it's God's blessing and good luck that suddenly we have 5 orders from NTPC for boiler and turbine. We have 8 orders for boiler and turbine from Adani Group. And then a short while we expect some more orders. So now the shops are
believe that some orders are coming from the Middle East? I mean, there was...
On coal-fired, no. The Middle East is predominantly gas-fired, gas-based or combined cycle power plants. And now Middle East has gone heavy into solar and wind to a certain extent. That's what will be Middle East.
So coming back to turbines, you are now giving a good competition to BHEL, looks like.
I think the competition is healthy between both the organizations. Their factories are also full, so they also have to look at their loading and their delivery schedules, because some of these orders are from private sector, and the delivery is not done. You have penalties and such other clauses in the contracts. I think they are also balancing their portfolio, and we're slightly taking advantage of that, and we're being lucky in this space at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, you all manufacture turbines, right?
Yeah.
You're largely a construction company. A small part comes from manufacturing, and a slightly larger part comes from services. What is the breakup now, and how will it look, say, 2 years down?
Actually, L&T started as a manufacturing company, right? Where you're sitting now, Powai was the heart of our manufacturing space. When Larsen and Larsen Toubro decided to invest more into manufacturing, the Desai family gave this piece of land, which became their equity, and that's how L&T started. So Powai was the
manufacturing hub.
The mecca of manufacturing from many points of view. So over the period of time, I think I should tell you this interesting story. Larsen and Larsen Toubro had a friend, a carpenter, and he was from Iraq. And during the war times, he had nowhere to go, so he came here. And when he came and stayed with them, a friend becomes an overhead after some time. And they gave him 10,000 rupees and told him to start something in construction. And he did small wooden works. One of the works he did was Alexandra Docks in Bombay Port. And one of the reasonably big and risky job we did those days was a bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh, okay.
That famous movie. And we made the bridge for the movie and broke it for the movie. And that is how the construction part of L&T started as ECC. But construction and in the days when it started did not have any restrictions for growth. You could look at a project, bid for it, and if you're capable for it, go and do it. So construction grew in a manner which was faster than manufacturing, because manufacturing had limitations of licensing those days, the limitations of shop capacity, etc. So manufacturing was where it was, and construction became bigger. And construction, we diversified into many aspects of construction today, or projects today. So construction is nearly 75% of the company still today, the projects.
And some 15, 16 is
manufacturing
services.
is about 10%, and the rest of it is services, which is LTI Mindtree, LTTS, and L&T Finance. So as I look at it, this ratio is in a way okay. It has carried us so far, but if you now crystal gaze into the next 5 years, I think project business would come down to between 65% odd. Manufacturing would stay the same, maybe about 10%, but the services side, which is LTI Mindtree, LTTS, L&T Finance, and maybe L&T Realty, would become slightly bigger at 20 to 25%. It's healthy for us because services side profitability is higher. The margins are better there, so weighted average margin of the company would go up, which is what we look out for.
Okay. It's good that you brought in realty, because that was going to be my next question. What does it contribute to the top line and bottom line now? And what will it be 5 years from now? Because I see Powai full of L&T projects. So what is it now, and what will it be 5 years from now, say?
So reality was a nice story, right? We did some reality because we are contractors, but it did not go well. Then my former boss, Mr. Naik, was still the boss, okay? And Mr. Naik conceived the solution where Powai had become overcrowded. And we could not do those heavy equipments and transport it from here anymore because full of residential and traffic, etc. So he decided to buy land in Hazira and Coimbatore, and much of our manufacturing we shifted to Hazira and Coimbatore. Hazira was an ideal location because it was next to the Tapi River. You could just load it onto the barge and take it to anywhere in the world. So it helped us. Now, having done that, when the land was available at Powai, you could do two things. Either you could sell it, or you could monetize it by doing real estate. So the idea came about to him that why don't we build something out here and create a nice township and thereby get into real estate in a much more bigger manner than we would. So it maybe started in his mind as some kind of a eventful activity that he was doing. But you know, when you do such things in an organization like L&T, you bring in leaders, you bring in organization, you bring in process systems, etc. And over time, it became a business activity. Similarly, we had land in Bangalore where our excavator factory was there. And that's again a beautiful township like this. Then we had land in Chennai where our walls and rubber tire curing press factory was there. We moved it out. And that's getting converted into beautiful small gated community.
To answer
like
me,
this.
what is it giving you now in terms of top line, bottom line? And what will it do 5 years from now when all these flats will be sold out?
We're doing both residential and commercial. So the philosophy is to keep commercial at about 25% and residential, which would be the balance 75%. So commercial, whatever we're doing in our own land, we would retain it with us because it gives some kind of an annuity income over a period of time through lease. Residential, of course, we'll sell it. And at the moment, reality business, about 4,500 crores sales and about 800, 900 crores in PAT. As we go forward, the strategic plan is under process. It's still not...
what kind of a CAGR? Will it be 25, 30, more?
It could be around that. And I feel by end of the plan, it could easily become a 25, 30,000 crore business with a reasonable margin there.
So you know where I'm headed. When will you list it?
Yeah. So the thought process is there. We have there were multiple companies, obviously, various SPVs were formed for various reasons to do it. We are putting it all together. We have formed a board. Some eminent people have come onto the board beyond our own internal people, including me. There are some very good external people, independent directors who come. So we're trying to give it a shape and size to move it forward. In my opinion, where 26, 27, 28 early is when we look for for an IPO on that. IPO or over the counter sale, I don't know, but we will decide because that has to be taken to the board, and board has to approve in what form and which form we want to take it forward. But that's the plan in the mind.
That completes just about half the projects, half the departments that L&T has. We still have to do nuclear, defense, and all those questions. Quick break. We are back with more.